All right, and welcome guys to Ayutthaya. Today I'm right over here next to a university up here in this former Thai capital of Ayutthaya. And what's interesting about it is there's so much history in this region that right next to the soccer field is an old temple, like 1480s Middle Ayutthaya temple named Wat Singharam, or the Temple of the Lion. So it's a small ruin, but it's kind of interesting. And so let's take a look and see what we see. So like I said, it's right next to this university. You got a couple of the graduates that are posing for some picture over there. And then you can see the university grounds all around. And then they have this pretty nice soccer field or football pitch, whichever way you want to call it, and the running track and everything. It's right next to the temple. The temple is separated by a little tiny road, and then you're right there in a ruin. So how cool would this be if you were at university and right here on the campus grounds is, you know, a 1480s temple? I think that would be quite fascinating to me. So the ruins are not like overly large. You got a couple little outer buildings. The perimeter wall is completely gone, but you do have two bell-shaped stupas, and then the main ordination hall, which is right there. And the ordination hall was restored in the late Ayutthaya era, so like the 1620s or so. So let's take a look at what's here. So these would have been the bell-shaped stupas that you see. They go up into like it has like a round base, and then it would go up into the top of the stupa. Would be like the Sri Lankan style is what I would describe it as. And then they have the base of this is all in brick. Now they said that the relics in here were some Chinese relics. And I'm sure that they've been moved off into a museum. And then they had another outer wall, or another outer building right over there. So I don't know. So whenever I come up here to Ayutthaya, I haven't been up here in a little while, I always come across something I've never seen before. So this is a temple I didn't even know about. It was right next to the temple was a little canal, and there's a bridge over there called the Safan Singh, or the Lion Bridge. And the Fine Arts Department restored that bridge in like the 1920s. So yeah, it's always cool for me. I never know what I'm going to see. So it looks like I'm going to get caught in some rain here. So let's go into this little hall. This is the main ordination hall. And you can see what's remaining of it. It's in really decent shape. So it would have been restored in like the 1620s, maybe 1630s. And you can see some of the plaster that's still on the outer wall. And then it has the vents here for like getting a cross breeze so it's not so hot inside the temple itself. And you can see the base, it's shaped just like one of the Chinese junkets, which is really, really common in the Ayutthaya style. So it looks like a boat, which is always pretty cool. And then you can see what's left of the support pillars for the roof. And then the front looks like something came and took a giant bite out of it. And it's kind of interesting. The front and the back have the same like missing part of the walls. And then you climb the steps. And let's look inside here. Yeah, so none of the support beams are still intact. And you can look around. A little bit of the stucco is remaining, but not a whole lot. So there's not much left to this ruin. And I don't know if they put like a Buddha image or anything in the door. There's little notches there for it on all the doors. And then you can see what's remaining of the sandstone Buddhas that they used to have in here. Just a little bit of the legs, some of the body parts. It's pretty much unrecognizable. It's still nice. I really like these old buildings. I love to just come and walk around and check them out, just to see what is remaining of them. Yeah, you can see that's like the chest area, and one of the legs. So you would have came right here. These would have been the roof piers. There would have been 6 of them in here, and you would have came in right here, and this would have been where you would have prayed and meditated and all of that, and the Buddha would have been right there. So right outside of the hall, this is a canal. Now this is on the main part of the island, and it's on the southern part of it. So this canal would have went right out into the Chao Phraya River. And you can see it's all stagnated now. They're not letting any water in or out, so it's all kind of green and nasty with some trash and stuff like that floating in it. So this would have been pretty interesting back in the day, because you would have been able to come right up here on a boat right out of the main river. And that's probably how most of the people would have came in, especially from like if you were living further south, you would have came in by boat. And then right outside of the backside away from the Buddha image. So there's a pedestal here, probably had like a standing Buddha that you would have seen as you came up from the canal. And there's just hardly any of it left. I mean, it's unfortunate. I like to look at the walls and the gates and everything. You can see probably this is the best part of what's remaining. A little bit of the plaster that's still around this door. And you're just seeing that the plaster was about 1 inch thick or so, 1.5 inches thick. But there's not much of it left to really talk about. There's a little bit left on this wall here. But to me, what's really interesting is where it's located at. Just right next to this university, you have this old temple. And unfortunately, nobody's over here looking at it. It's just me wandering around with my camera. And then you can see that it had the two dome-shaped chedis. So it's pretty interesting. It's a small ruin, but still pretty decent. Okay, so I see now. Wasn't sure what this was before, but this just looks like a little wihan, like the little prayer hall. And you can see that there's a Buddha image inside and the stairs here. So the other side is different than this. That other side must have been just like a little chedi, or it could have been like the bell tower. And then you can see the back wall still a little bit intact. It has kind of the lotus bud like little window in it. And you can see some of the stucco here has some of the patterns that was engraved in it. So you can see a little bit of the work still, but it's in pretty bad condition. And then the back side of this little building right here. Okay, so here's the bridge that the Fine Arts Department restored that went over that little canal next to that temple. This is Safan Singh, or the Lion Bridge. It's pretty cool. I like the construction of it. The canal is pretty nasty now. You can see the trash and all that in it. But yeah, I really like how it's built. Would have been really beautiful back in the day. And now you can see how the tree roots have overtaken it and are just growing amongst the bricks. But yeah, the canal was right next to the temple, and now it just dead ends just like this. This is the end of the canal. All right, guys, so that finishes up a quick little tour of Wat Singharam, or the Lion Temple. It's a small little ruin. It's interesting. It's not gigantic, but it's still worth, 5-10 minutes of your time or so to come over here and walk around if you're in this area. I've been up to Ayutthaya so many times, and every time I come I see something new, and it always grabs my attention. So anyway, I just kind of like this stuff, so hopefully y'all do too. If you do, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Share it with your friends, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about stuff like this. If you like seeing these old temple videos, I'll make more. And if you don't, I'll do something different. So anyway, let me know, and I'll do my best to make some content that you guys want to see. So as always, guys, remember, life is a journey. So enjoy.